Hi everyone, I'm Deepa Bhujbal. Hope you guys have been doing well. I'm doing well too. I wanted to share my experience with mental health, being an international student abroad. So you're on the other end of the globe trying to navigate this country, this culture, the education system, money problems or financial problems. You're trying to get accustomed to living an independent life. It's just you're exposed on all sides. I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know that there's a term called mental health. Everything was great, everything was perfect, but I still felt like shit, and I just didn't know why. I learned asking for help is very important. I learned that the hard way because here it's very individualistic and you have to be really independent to survive in America. So if you don't ask for help, you you might fall in trouble. So ask for help. I experienced some of the symptoms, the very early symptoms in my freshman year. Some of those symptoms were loss of appetite, not being able to have fun anymore, not being able to enjoy things you normally do, like my hobbies, or just enjoying life in general. I just wasn't enjoying any of it, and I missed my family, I missed my home, I missed my food. There was a lot going on because I was adjusting to the culture while also unlearning and relearning a lot of things. And to be honest, I didn't even know what mental health was. I just thought I was a bad student, or I might be weak or something, but that was so not the case. For me, by depression, it was like a slow build. So the worst my depression hit me was during my senior year of college, or my fourth year of my studies at university. Some of the symptoms were the ones that I mentioned before, but just way more intense. I also developed a little bit of anxiety. I was having panic attacks. I was having anxiety attacks. Yes, those two things are different. None of my friends were here. All of my friends had moved out from the city because they had graduated or gotten jobs. So I was here all by myself and trying to cope with life and trying to make new friends and also be a good student because you have to have a certain GPA to keep your scholarship and all of that. It was incredibly difficult just to get out of bed, let alone do anything else. I wasn't brushing my teeth. I wasn't showering. So it had gotten to the point where it had started affecting my hygiene. It makes you think that you're going to be a burden on someone when you're not. Basically, what I'm saying is it makes you overthink a lot, and it makes you think that, oh, I'm just going to do everything wrong. No, that's not the case. Your friends, your teachers, they're there to help you, but depression makes you think otherwise. Oh, they just don't care about me, or, oh, I just have to do everything alone. No, it's not the case. There is brain fog, and it makes you just not be able to think clearly. It's literally what it sounds like a big cloud, like a dark rain cloud in your mind, and it's just fogging your brain, and you can't think clearly, you can't see clearly, you cannot do anything clearly. It's you're forgetful of things, and it just keeps making everything worse. You try so hard to keep everything organized, but your brain fog just makes it worse. Let's talk more about the challenges that came along with it, or how I finally managed to manage my depression. I started with counseling, but then I went into therapy. And mind you, a breakdown and a crisis are different things. It started with identifying first. I approached the counseling services at my university. It was free for us because we were students. That helped a lot, and I always made sure I had a counselor, so when I needed professional help, I had someone to rely on. As opposed to identifying symptoms, it can be a little hard because depression makes you question if it is legitimate. But I just want to say that yes, it is legitimate. There's just no use questioning oh, how bad is bad enough to be accepted. It doesn't matter. It's bad. Bad is bad. It's hard to describe. It's very hard to verbalize the intensity. I started with some of the things I was doing and not doing, and that kind of helped me after I started pinpointing like my activities or my actions that kind of helped me identify my symptoms and what kind of help I needed. When I had my wake-up call, I finally decided to come to terms with how it actually is. I started saying things how they actually were. It was very hard, but I came to terms with my own self and things started falling in place after that. So after this, I wanted to actually talk about stigma and some of the misconceptions. There's a stigma to it, like, oh, like mental health, or it's not really a thing, it's just all in your head, you just gotta do it, and all of that stuff. But how it manifested in me was that I didn't seek help for a very long time because I was kind of embarrassed of it, because like, oh, I didn't want to be like, oh, that depressed girl in your friend group, or I didn't want to have that label. Climate affects your mood, and after a certain point, like your eyes or mind gets tired of seeing all white and all snow. Once you get like familiarized with the place, it gets better. I first went to my success coach in, I guess, spring of my freshman year. After the success coach, my success coach actually referred me to a therapist from the counseling center. Who also did like counseling. So I told them, like, I filled out the forms and everything, and I went to my first appointment so they can start devising like strategies about how they're gonna deal with this case, or what we're gonna like do to like help me get better and everything. So this carried on for like 3.5 years. But after that, I made the bold decision of opting for medication. The medication I took it also like targeted a little bit of anxiety, not much. But at the same time, it wasn't just medication. I was doing a lot of things other than like taking medication too. Like, are you eating well? Are you sleeping well? Are you practicing positive thoughts? Are you trying to like make sure that you're doing well? Are you having enough sunlight? Are you having enough exercise? When I started like actively doing that, I always did it, but when I actively started doing that, it was a game changer. The challenges of dealing with depression as an international student, that's like a big one. I learned time management the hard way, because the first 2 years were spent in culture shock. It's hard to describe it. I've learned a lot and I've made a lot of progress. There was like hardly anybody in my major who was also an international student. So I had to deal with this, not only this field, but this major and everything related to like my skill set, like alone, essentially, other than having mentors and friends in my major. I had to learn to navigate it by asking a lot of questions. You have to be comfortable with being the outlier, and that's just how it is. Other than that, like, I really don't have anything else to say. And again, this is just my own experience. I wanted to share it. Navigating life can become a little difficult when you're an international student on the other end of the globe. I hope this creates a little bit of awareness and tells how things actually are. I hope you enjoyed listening to me, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have. And I'm gonna go now. So I will see you later.